Hello everyone, welcome back. It's time, finally, for the third game in my Terra Mystica Tournament Season 39 series. In this game, we chose engineers, and as with the previous games, it's been quite a while since the game was played, and so my thoughts are not super fresh on any of this, but I'll try to remember what was going on and explain to you guys what I was thinking. I certainly remember one very distressing moment somewhat clearly. As I said, in most of these games I didn't do that well, and there was definitely one defining moment in this game that made things turn very far south for me. Anyway, let's get started. So I picked engineers here. Why would I do that? Let's try to reconstruct that decision. I covered it in faction selection, but that was forever ago. I don't remember. I mean, Darklings, Swarmlings, Engineers. I think it was just because like they're a good faction. Let's look at the scoring bonus tiles actually. Yeah, all four of them are here. That's like usually a good indicator that you want to go Engineers. Also, all the workers are here, and only 8 of the coins, the big coin thing, is missing. Engineers thrive in high worker or low coin environments, so it seems quite reasonable. I ended up taking the cult step for coins, and obviously you get a cult step as well. Not totally sure what the deal was there. Worker and power seems pretty reasonable to me as well. I probably opened a double temple because I like to do that, and these coins help you get there, but you don't super need coins to do that. I don't know. Power might have been nice to ensure you get like the double dig or something. But as engineers, you usually do want to at least go for one temple early to make sure you can grab Earth 1, and then maybe you get your second temple for Earth 2 or something. But, I mean, looking back on this, I feel like taking Worker and Power would have been better. Maybe my thinking was that one of the other factions would go for the double dig, and therefore the power wouldn't be as useful to me. Like the mermaids couldn't take this tile, obviously, if I'd grabbed it, but they could have grabbed the shipping or the shipping scoring even, just to get a few points and also secure the double dig. Also, there's like a big leech party early when everyone's racing for temples that you could use to get enough power to double dig, so maybe it's not necessary. I don't know. Anyway, everyone starts with a trading post. I put mine over here for reasons that are unclear to me. This feels more normal. Because I don't know, Darklings I see. I had the turn order wrong. The Swarmlings. Oh, this isn't mermaids. It's Swarmlings. Swarmlings are last. Yes, I built over here because I wanted the Swarmlings. I wanted to build next to a dwelling that was about to become a trading post, not the other way around, so that I get more leech and my opponents don't get as much. Also, it's kind of nice to give Darklings less leech if possible, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, and I grabbed the temple. Everyone else had other things to do. So this is a point that I like didn't think as much about as I maybe should have. Is that like with nomads in the game, with this Sanctuary Stronghold, there's no rush to get any favor tiles because they're going to build their stronghold, right? With the scoring bonus for it as well as the round bonus. But it's still nice to build temples. I don't know, like. I'm kind of thinking maybe. Yeah, like this is where having more power would have been beneficial. No, I don't know. The Swarmlings, I would have had to take it in round 1, in the first turn if I wanted to do it. Yeah, the Swarmlings got there first. Also, it's like kind of hard to make use of a double dig in round 1 as engineers if you're trying to double temple as well, because you don't have that many workers. So I think my plan was probably to double temple this round, accumulate a bunch of power, and start next round with a double dig. Maybe. We shall see. Anyway, I assume I grabbed Earth 1? Yeah, why not? And nomads went here. Yeah, let's step back and look at what the situation looks like right now. I just built Earth 1. And yeah. And then it was like, okay, I don't know. The Swarmlings built a dwelling, and the Darklings sent a priest to water. And I built a trading post, figuring like, sure, I'll get a bit more leech, and then I'll grab E9. But the nomads surprised me in a way that maybe should not have been that surprising by grabbing the dig action before I could get it. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, E9. I can't get to E9. The nomads still have Sandstorm. And I don't have enough workers to dig, and you're not allowed to use power to dig anymore. So, like, I'm just like, this is the moment that I remember with horrifying clarity. Is just like, oh, I guess I'm not going to connect up. I'm not going to get all this space. This is going to be an awful game. Just played two, not carelessly exactly. Thoughtlessly is maybe a word, but in too carefree a manner, too gaily. Almost, you could almost describe it as blithely, right? I was kind of just like, I'll get E9 whenever, no rush. Yeah, there is actually a huge rush, and if you don't get E9, you'll friggin' die. So that's why I think worker, and one of the reasons I think worker power might be more important. I underestimated the danger that G4 nomads could pose to me on E9, which I think I could have seen even in the setup. But I was like, they'll go this way. They'll sandstorm here and then dig here and, whatever. But actually, this is a very reasonable path for them to take. Arguably more reasonable. Yeah, it's less expensive and also more promising because it cuts me off. So this is really what I should absolutely expect nomads to do, and I need to salvage things by digging while I still can. Either by taking the single dig action a bit sooner. I think I was, or by like taking a power bonus tile so that I can double dig. I think I was just too married to my idea of double temple as like the good engineer's opening. And like, yeah, it's pretty nice, but there are things more important than that in this world. And if your temple is isolated from the rest of the world, it really sucks. So once again in this game, I was suddenly like battling for third place. And it's not even clear who I'm fighting with. Maybe Darklings? They're a good faction, but they might be cut off. I don't know. They're probably going to get this whole area to themselves, and they can maybe even build some up here. Nomads seem to have a great start. Swarmlings got the double dig early. They're in good shape. I don't even know who I'm fighting with, but mostly my conscience and myself. Yuck. So what did I do here? I used my cult step to go up on air. Okay. And then I grabbed water 2. That's why I wanted the cult step. My plan was to use water 2 as my second cult, which is favorite tile, which is like an unusual one, but it's. I was reading through the engineer's opening statistics recently, and there are pretty much only 3 favorite tiles that it makes sense to open with as engineers. Well, not makes sense, but that on average give you good results. And they're Earth 1 for the dwelling points, Earth 2 for the worker income, and Water 2. Because cult income can be quite useful. And so here, I was like, oh, it's going to give me a worker this round. And somehow or other, I was going to get it to give me a dig in the second round, and then later, a priest or 2. So it's like, it's going to do a fair amount. I don't know. Plus give me some cult points. And a mostly, well, I was going to say a mostly low cult game, but Swarmlings are rather culty, so I could maybe win win a with an early water too. It wouldn't be completely unreasonable to win 2 cults in this kind of matchup, or at least win one and second in another. So I think that was the idea with water 1. With starting with the cult bonus and then taking water 2. What even is happening here? Nobody's taking any actions. Oh, there's only 2 of us left, and we both just took power actions. Or 3, I see. Darklings took the coins, I took the workers, Swarmlings left. And then we all passed into the next round. So it's already pretty dire, obviously. And I don't have any worker income. Well, this was my worker income. Yeah, that was kind of my thing. Right, you give me a worker here, a dig here, a priest or 2 here, and maybe something else. I don't know. It seems like an alright income tile. But like, what do we even do at this point? I grabbed trading post scoring and workers, and it's a trading post scoring round, so I could try to build some of those, but like, I kind of need worker income as well, so I'm not sure what the plan's going to be. I got the double dig finally. This town's looking nice. And I used my cult step to go... No, I sent a priest to water to get up to 4, sure. Just in case everyone else filled up the cult first. And I built a bit. I can upgrade this to a trading post, and it's worth like 3 points to do so, but it cost me a worker income. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. I probably did it. Yeah. Still not sure if it was a good idea or not. It might be, but it might not. And the nomads have finished the town already, which is like disgusting. And they're already working on another over here. They had really a very economical game, as one might expect from the nomads in general. And they were like carefully denying me power. They really wanted to make sure I suffered, apparently. I don't think that's really true. They just built here because they expected to get some power from the Darklings and not from me. I think that's totally reasonable. And it would be reasonable even if it were being aggressive towards me, if they thought it was the best play. I just don't think that's the reason they did it this way, even though to me it feels like I'm being singled out and given no leech. Really, they're just trying to get the most they can for themselves. What did I do here? Yeah, I built that trading post. And then it's hard to tell. I went up on fire. Aiming towards 2 fire. Yes, sure, of course. This was all planned. I had this. I didn't remember the plan, but I'm quite certain I would have figured this out before choosing my bonus tile. Is that I was going to get to 2 air, 4 water, 2 fire, and then 4 or 8 water. So water 2 is giving me a lot of income. Is the idea. Right, it's giving me almost as much income as Earth 2 would have, but it's also giving me a bunch of cult steps. Arguably giving me more income because I get a dig, which is certainly worth more than a worker. And then, yeah, I think it's giving me more income than Earth 2. I agree with that choice. To get water 2 is my second favor. You could argue maybe Earth 2 and water 2. But engineers are supposed to place a lot of dwellings, and so Earth 1 is very good for them. I ended up being somewhat handicapped in numerous ways, and I don't think I got as many dwellings as I would have liked either. So Earth 2 might have worked out better for me. But I think Earth 1, Water 2 is a pretty reasonable plan to have if you just don't get cut off here. And then we all passed into round 3. I used my dig here, having nowhere else good to put it. Oh, and I got no workers. Yep. Just building everything out of power. Oh, I did get workers from... No? From my bonus tile. Yes, I got the Sanctuary bonus tile. So I think I'm planning to put a Sanctuary here. I wonder if a Stronghold might be better, but I don't really want a bridge to here, so I don't know. And I'm going to have to take the worker power action to even get that. It's I don't know. My whole life kind of sucks. I guess I sent a priest to fire? Yeah, that makes sense. You get workers for priests in fire this round. And then I took the workers. Yes. And I spent my cult step on fire. This is all very normal. And I got a sanctuary. I think a sanctuary instead of a stronghold is probably right. It gives you a favor tile, and I assume I took like air 1. Yeah. And the coin town. The idea with air 1 is I already have a couple trading posts down. I'm probably not going to get to build so many more that water 1 will be good, but this is a solid income of at least 3 points per turn, per round. So that's like at least 12 points, and I don't think I'll get more than that from water 1. Okay, I grabbed it. I grabbed the temple anyway, so I'm not getting quite as many points. What did I take? Water 1 as well, maybe? No, I took the worker income. Okay. Kind of realizing maybe you need a little bit of worker income to play engineers. Sure. And I just passed, grabbing trading post scoring again. Okay, sure. I mean, like, my income is not that bad. Right, I got a worker here and 2 workers from the cults. But I don't have that much coin income. I just have a lot of power. I don't know. It's hard to really focus on details. Like, I'm ahead in points right now, but my situation is very bad. This is, like, obviously a problem. And also, I've already cashed in one of my towns, and most other players haven't. And I don't have good prospects for a second town anywhere, right? Where would you even put it? All the good spaces are kind of gone, right? Like, I can't even find a spot to put another town that's not insanely expensive. I mean, I guess here is only 4 digs and a bridge. If you could ship to here, you could again do it with, well, here would be 3 digs and a bridge, I guess. But it's a long way, and it takes you a bridge. You have to build here or here as well to even be able to ship that far, so it's sort of another dig. Yeah, I don't know. And the bonus tile I got was, right, trading post scoring. We said that already. What did I do that round? Take the coins? No. Oh, I advanced shipping. Headed here, maybe? Here, I guess. Yeah, maybe my goal is to just start taking the gray tiles on the board to cash in some easy points and get some worker income finally. That makes sense. Hello, what did I do? I advanced ship again to 2. Planning I6 to jump to G1, I guess? But I took C2 first. I can't advance ship a 3rd time. I'm not sure why I was excited to do it a 2nd time already. I took some water. Not really sure why. I guess just competing for cult points and not thinking I would get to 8 Earth. Seems reasonable, I guess. I bought a priest. Oh. Do I actually have a plan to get to 8 water? Oh no, I wanted to advance ship again. Okay. So that gets me to A2. Yeah. And that's the end of the round. So still in the point lead, but not actually in a good spot. I just don't have the kind of income you're supposed to have with engineers, and no real prospects for any more towns. Meanwhile, the nomads are set up to catch in a great round 5 town. They might. Did they take Fire 2 already? Yeah. So they should be able to easily catch in 2 towns this round. And that should give them enough economy to start like just building towards even more stuff. Whether they can get 4 towns remains to be seen. I know the answer, of course. But this is a humongous position to be in by the beginning of round 5. What did I do? Take the coins? Did I get the coins? No. Despite being way behind, I'm still in last in the turn order just because I'm doing a lot of things, even if they're not that useful. How did I get to G1? Oh! This was my whole silly plan. I took the shipping bonus tile this round so I could have 4 shipping to reach G1 without having to dig somewhere along the way. And H6 and I9 are all within reach. And I can later fill in the gaps if connectivity is important by taking I6 and G3 or E8. Probably E8, right? Because then you can get here to C5. Yeah, I forgot about that. I definitely remember for a while I thought it was illegal to have more than 3 shipping because that isn't present on your shipping track. But the amount of shipping you have is what's on your track plus your bonus card. It's not like the bonus card temporarily moves you up on your track, which is sort of how I had mentally modeled it. So, indeed you can have 4 shipping, and that was what I did here to get to G1. Cute. Just place down more dwellings was the plan, I guess. And I sent a priest to Earth to get me my dig. Although, I'm not sure. I guess I was going to send 2 of them to Earth to get me 2 digs. Yeah, that makes sense. There's the second. And I sent another to Fire to compete on the Fire track, I guess? Sure. And then I built H8. That was H6. These 2 were kind of part of the plan. But as you can see, any notion of another town over here was short-lived. The Darklings wanted this space. I made a trading post. I don't know. It's worth some points and it's some money. Sure. And I made it all the way up to 8 on Earth. Then I did build. Oh, I built it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I didn't need to build it to place the dwelling. I wasn't sure. Maybe that explained the trading post. It was like I already had 8 dwellings, but no. All right, we made it to round 6. And the projected scores are bad, but not as bad as they might be, right? The problem, though, is that, like, it's not clear what I'm supposed to do to gain more points. Oh, right! And I was using the double dig to dig out the spaces that connect up my empire, so that I don't have to spend any power digging them. That makes sense. So it's not really clear what I'm supposed to do here. Probably build a temple, because it's a temple round. Build a few dwellings. Maybe I take water 1 so that the trading posts that I build are worth a bit more. I don't know. I don't have a ton of money, but you don't need a lot as engineers. There's my temple taking, I assume, water 1? Yeah. Okay, what did I do? I give up. I bought workers. Makes sense, yeah. And then E8 helping connect up this stuff. And I5 connecting up here. And at this point, I'm looking a little bit competitive. But remember, the Swarmlings, like, I don't know. They still have a lot of resources to spend. Plus, they're this thing and... yeah. So I don't know. We can just skip through these turns real quick. I built some dwellings where it was cheap to do so, and sent priests trying to be competitive on the cult tracks, but ultimately not doing a very good job of it. I didn't end up winning any cults despite taking water too, which is rather disappointing. But I built some trading posts for points. Snuck up on water. And another trading post. And ended up being in last by 10. And the Nomads did get to 4 towns. It's kind of remarkable that they had such a poor score for it. I'm sort of interested in like how they got so few. A ton of town points, obviously. Although, not as many as you would think. They were taking a lot of economy towns. They won on network. Bonus 9 is dwellings. Yeah, okay. So they probably got like a 5 and an 8 or a 6 and a 7 or something. Two towns in the town round. They took Earth 1 very late. No, this is the dwelling round. I don't know. I don't see anything that like stands out as them obviously blowing a bunch of points. They got less points from towns than Swarmlings, though, who built only 2. No, they built 3. I think they just like didn't get the scoring favors, and so all the stuff they were doing was cool, but it didn't line up well enough with the scoring track to justify necessarily the effort they put into it. I mean, you know, they were I don't know. Were they player 2? No, they were player 4. Yeah, I mean, salvaging a second place out of player 4 is pretty good. No, a third place is, yeah, it's okay. And they basically did it by saying, look, engineers are in a good spot in this matchup, and I have a chance to ruin their lives. And they took it, and they beat me, and that was all they needed to do better than if they hadn't done that. But I think if I'd been able to connect up here, my score would have been much higher, and everyone else's score would have been pretty similar, so Nomads would have come last. So they did what they could early to beat me, and then didn't give it up by just building this gigantic pile of towns. What was the last town they took, anyway? Just out of curiosity. Town 8. No, that's Swarmlings. Town 5. Yeah, that's the 8. 8 points and 1 in each cult. The Nomads pointed out after the game that I could have stopped them at any time by like digging I8. They didn't have enough resources to redig it. But it's not like that's something I'm excited to do. I don't know. And even if I could salvage third in this game, I would still be last in the season. So ultimately, it was just like, yeah, go ahead, build whatever you want to build. I'm just trying to maximize my own points. So there you go. That's my third game. Covered much more quickly than games in which I do well, because it's no fun talking about how you lost. Also because I don't really remember things very well. And it's sort of hard to like argue, to talk about why this move is good and why the other alternatives are worse, or why it's close if like every move is losing. So I don't know. A bit of a rush, but I hope you guys who were looking forward to the Terra Mystica videos appreciated it anyway. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.